You've seen it in smoothies, on TikTok, and bright Instagram bowls. But what exactly is dragon fruit? And why is it suddenly everywhere? It may look like something from another planet, but this fruit is grown on spiny cactus arms in scorching heat, hand-pollinated in the middle of the night, then harvested just 30 days later, and shipped around the world. The flower opens only at night, and if it doesn't get pollinated by sunrise, there's no fruit. So farmers go out with flashlights and brushes, pollinating flower after flower by hand. Vietnam now grows over 1 million tons a year, exporting to over 80 countries. That's a $600 million fruit empire. And it's not just tropical, it's strategic, but this rise hasn't come easy. One rainstorm, one shipping delay, even one bad flower night and the whole crop's at risk. So what's really driving this dragon fruit boom? And why are countries racing to cash in on it? Let's dive into the story of how this weird-looking cactus fruit became a global sensation, and why dragon fruit might just be the future of fruit farming. Dragon fruit wasn't always a global trend. It actually started here in the sun-baked lands of southern Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and El Salvador. Back then, it was just another desert cactus, beautiful, bizarre, and largely unknown outside the Americas. But in the 1860s, French colonists brought this strange fruit to Vietnam. They turned it into a superstar. Today, dragon fruit, also called pitaya or pitahaya, comes in 3 species: white-fleshed Seleniceras undatus, red-fleshed S. castrensis, and the rarer yellow-skinned S. megalanthus. You'll recognize it by its wild skin, bright pink or yellow, covered in green flame-like scales. Cut it open, you'll find either white, red, or even golden flesh inside, all dotted with tiny black seeds. Red-flesh varieties tend to be sweeter, a little tangy, and packed with lycopene, the same antioxidant that gives tomatoes their punch. And the health benefits through the roof. We're talking vitamin C, fiber, antioxidants, and prebiotics, all wrapped in one weird, wonderful fruit. It's no wonder dragon fruit's now everywhere. But to understand why it's exploding in popularity, we've got to look at how it's grown, harvested, and shipped, all from the ground up. Now, dragon fruit doesn't grow on trees, that it grows on something much stranger. This is a climbing cactus. It needs a vertical support, like a post, a rose wheel, or a sturdy trellis to grow up and out. Left alone, it would sprawl like a jungle vine, but trained upright, it becomes a fruit factory. It thrives best in USDA zones 10 to 11, warm, humid, subtropical climates. Think Southern California, Florida, Hawaii. Dragon fruit can tolerate heat up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius, and it can survive short bursts of cold, but a deep freeze, that's a deal breaker. Beneath the surface, this cactus is picky. It likes sandy, well-draining soil, just slightly acidic between pH 6 and 7. If the roots sit in waterlogged ground, you're asking for root rot. That's the #1 killer of dragon fruit plants. Sun is everything. Dragon fruit needs at least 6 to 8 hours of full sun every day to thrive, especially during the flowering and fruiting stages. But here's where it gets cactus. The plant stores water in its fleshy arms, just like a desert succulent. This makes it drought-tolerant to a point. During flowering and fruiting, though, it needs consistent watering, not too much, not too little. Overdo it, and those gorgeous white flowers might fall off, under-deliver, and the fruit shrinks before it even starts. As it grows, the dragon fruit plant sends out aerial roots to cling to anything nearby. With care, pruning, and the right setup, it can grow over 20 feet long and live 20 to 30 years. This thing is serious about climbing and producing. It's not just a plant, it's a climbing, blooming, fruiting machine, built to thrive under tough conditions. Growing dragon fruit isn't just planting a cactus and waiting. It's part science, part tradition, and a whole lot of patience. Let's walk through how this alien-looking fruit goes from cutting to harvest. Dragon fruit can be grown from seeds, but farmers almost always use cuttings from healthy, mature plants. Why? Because cuttings root faster, grow stronger, and produce fruit in as little as 6 to 12 months. Once the cutting is made, it's left to dry for a few days. This helps the wound heal and prevents rot when planted. Then it's planted just a few inches deep in well-drained soil with one cutting per support post, spaced at least 3 feet apart to give the vines room to sprawl. Each post often supports 3 to 4 vines, trained upward with ties. The vine climbs fast, and within months, it sends out its first shoots, reaching for the sun and ready to bloom. Here's where it gets magical. Dragon fruit flowers bloom only at night. Giant, white blossoms, sometimes called moonflowers or queen of the night, open after sunset and wilt by dawn. These flowers need cross-pollination, either by insects, the wind, or, in many farms, by hand, where workers gently transfer pollen between blossoms using brushes or cotton swabs. If pollination works, the base of the flower swells, and within 28 to 35 days, you've got a full-grown dragon fruit, ready to harvest. During this stage, farmers monitor everything: water levels, pests, soil nutrients. The plant needs steady care, but not too much water. It also loves a dose of slow-release fertilizer, like Osmocote, to keep fruit production strong. Mulching helps conserve moisture and reduce weeds in hot, dry climates. Some farmers even shade the base to protect the roots. You'll know it's ready when the skin turns bright, with scales that start to wilt or curl slightly. That means it's ripe and full of flavor. Each fruit is picked by hand, with gloves, to avoid the spines. One vine can produce 20 to 30 fruits a year, and the plant keeps producing for decades. After harvest, the fruit is cleaned, sorted by size and color, and packed for local markets or export to the US, China, Japan, and Europe. Dragon fruit is a tropical crop, which means its growing season is long and can stretch nearly all year, but it thrives during the warmer months. In most tropical and subtropical regions like southern Vietnam, southern California, or Florida, the main fruiting season begins in May and can extend into October or November. During this time, the plants continuously flower and fruit in cycles, with each flush producing dozens of blooms. In cooler zones or dry periods, growth slows. But dragon fruit doesn't really go dormant unless temperatures drop below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius. These cactus vines love heat and sun, ideally 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day. They can handle temps up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius. But extremes, like heat waves or cold snaps, can stress the plant. So many farms use shade cloth, misting systems, or mulch to help regulate temperature. Even though dragon fruit is a cactus, don't be fooled. It still needs consistent moisture, especially during flowering and fruiting stages. But too much water? That's a recipe for root rot. Drainage is key. That's why farmers plant on raised mounds or rows to prevent soggy soil. Healthy soil makes sweeter fruit. Farmers often use slow-release fertilizers like Osmocote every few months, along with organic matter, compost, manure, or coconut husk mulch to build structure and boost microbial life. Ideal soil pH: somewhere between 6.0 and 7.0, mildly acidic and rich in nutrients each season. Vines are pruned to remove excess growth and keep airflow high. This also encourages more flower buds and prevents diseases like stem rot or sunburn. Trained properly, the vines spiral up the post and spill over the top like a crown, making harvesting easy and boosting yields. Like any crop, dragon fruit isn't immune to problems. Common pests include ants, mealybugs, scale, and even nematodes. Underground, some farmers use Defender pyrethrum sprays or sticky traps, while others go fully organic, using beneficial insects or neem oil. Fungal diseases, especially in rainy areas, are also a threat, so keeping vines well-spaced and ventilated is crucial. Caring for dragon fruit is like raising a high-maintenance cactus. It rewards the farmer with fruit that's as beautiful as it is valuable. Ever walked past dragon fruit at the store and thought, wait, why is this little spiky thing so expensive? Let's break it down, because this is one fruit that hides a very high price tag. Beneath its pink skin, dragon fruit can't grow just anywhere. It thrives in hot, semi-arid climates with no frost, so only a handful of countries can produce it commercially. Vietnam, Thailand, Ecuador, Israel, and a few lucky spots in the US, but even in those places, one cold snap or one bad monsoon, and the crop suffers. Farmers are literally at the mercy of the weather. Dragon fruit is a cactus. Yes, but it doesn't grow wild and free. It needs hands-on training, pruning, and support structures like concrete poles or rose wheels. Each flower only blooms for a single night, and if it's not pollinated in time, no fruit. In many farms, pollination is done by hand. Midnight, then comes the harvest. Dragon fruit can't be machine-picked, it bruises easily, so every fruit is harvested manually, one by one, and with thorns. That's no easy task. After harvest, the fruit needs special packaging to avoid damage: foam sleeves, cushioned boxers, cold storage. And here's the kicker: dragon fruit only stays fresh for about 5 to 10 days. That means it has to be exported fast, usually by air, which adds a big chunk to the final cost. As demand skyrockets in the US, Europe, and Japan, suppliers struggle to keep up. The fruit's yield can vary wildly due to weather, pests, or plant stress, and red or yellow varieties. They're even rarer, often grown in smaller quantities, making them premium-priced imports. Let's be honest, dragon fruit is also fashionable. That's the edible version of a luxury handbag. Bright, exotic, and totally Instagram-worthy. From trendy juice bars in LA to luxury hotels in Singapore, dragon fruit has become a status fruit. So yes, you're paying for the fruit, but you're also paying for the hands that grew it, the nights spent pollinating it, the trucks and planes that rushed it to your plate, and the delicate beauty that can't be mass-produced. Expensive, maybe, but once you know the journey, it just might be worth every bite. Alright, you're standing in front of that gorgeous pile of dragon fruit, but how do you know which one's a winner? Let's break it down. Look for bright, even-colored skin, whether it's pink, red, or yellow. A few small blemishes. Totally fine, but skip any with soft spots, shriveling, or large brown patches. Those could mean it's overripe. Feel it. A good dragon fruit should give just a little under gentle pressure, like a ripe avocado. Rock hard, give it a few days at home to ripen. Mushy. That one's past its prime. Check the scales or wings, the little leafy parts. If they're still green and fresh looking, that's a good sign. If your dragon fruit is whole and uncut, it's happy at room temperature for a couple days. Want to keep it longer? Pop it in the fridge. It'll stay fresh for up to a week. Already sliced it, wrap it tight, or store in an airtight container in the fridge. Best to enjoy within a day or two. For peak flavor, there are so many ways to enjoy dragon fruit. Slice it in half and just scoop it right out with a spoon. Cube it for fruit salads or salsas. Toss it in smoothies for that pop of color and subtle sweetness. Freeze the cubes for a refreshing snack on a hot day. It's a fruit that's as fun to eat as it is to look at. A little taste of the tropics, right in your kitchen. From its humble origins in Central America to the sun-drenched farms of Vietnam, dragon fruit has traveled far, and it's here to stay. What was once a rare tropical curiosity is now a multi-billion-dollar global commodity. Thanks to Vietnam's ideal climate, dedicated farmers, government support, and increasingly sustainable practices, this vibrant fruit is transforming agriculture and economies across the region. It's easy to see why. Fast-growing from cutting squick to bare fruit, high global demand. For its health benefits and eye-catching beauty, dragon fruit has become a cornerstone of tropical horticulture and a bright symbol of Vietnam's role on the world stage. And as more people discover this delicious, nutrient-packed treasure, the story of dragon fruit's rise is only just beginning. If you've enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next tropical adventure.